Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We hit 2021. Thank God we all survived today. Okay, this is the first video of the Soulprint Insights channel for 2021. I'm, really happy you're here. I'm embarking on something that's a little different. Well, not different, the same, but expanded maybe. And so I'm going to be doing a series of direct channelings pertaining to light workers and earth angels. How you tell which you are if you're either. What does that mean in terms of your life purpose? What does that mean in terms of maybe things you should, be considering or looking at? So I'm not going to chatter on too much about it. I'm just going to sort of hand this over to Masudius, but I'm absolutely delighted you're here. Now, these channelings are going to be intermingled, of course, with regular other insight type videos. So I hope you enjoy them. Here we go. Masudius, if you could please give us some insight and clarity into the roles and perhaps the differences between those we refer to as light workers and those we refer to as earth angels. Well, thank you for the opportunity to connect with you in your time. We wish all of your subscribers and their families and friends a very happy new year. It is going to be a different year than the last one. In some ways, smoother, but in some ways, even more difficult. Because once the truth of a situation is revealed, that is really when the hard work begins in terms of trying to understand why or how that situation was created in the first place and how to fix it. And this is not only going on, sort of country by country in political terms, but it in fact is going on in the lives and hearts of many, many people. As one of the things that the COVID has done is brought perhaps more singular awareness to the fact that life really can be fleeting and that you really want to live in the present and let go of that which doesn't serve you going forward. So, thank you again for the opportunity. The first thing we want to say is that this distinction between light workers and earth angels truly is a man-made phenomenon. We consider all light workers. Excuse me. We consider those who understand that they are of the light and from the light and living in the light and working in the light for the light to be light workers. Earth angels is sort of a subsection of people who are most interested in the planet, the earth, the waterways, the air. Those souls who specifically have chosen to focus on the healing and nurturing care of your Mother Earth. But that does not distinguish them. They are just simply a separate group, much like psychics and healers and intuitives are a subgroup of light workers. But there are millions upon millions of light workers who would consider themselves everyday people who in fact are doing tremendous, tremendous work in the light. Some of them do it with prayer. Some of it do it with setting intentions for others. Some do it simply by living their lives and being themselves. Humans have this fascination with kind of the bigger, the better, and the more evolved, somehow the more important. When in actual fact, there are literally light workers among you whose superpower is leading with a smile. There are those of you whose superpower is caring for children with a gentleness and grace and nurturing that soul. You have to understand it is not the bigger the better, because it is not in fact the action so much as it is the intent behind the action. In a broad sweeping way, we can say that anyone who is watching this channel can most likely consider themselves a light worker. Now, there are several indigos out there, and indigos are different. They are a soul group that flooded to the earth in an attempt to help people prepare for the 4th/5th dimension. And we don't like running those two together because they are distinct, but for the expediency and clarity of communication. So I suppose we can suggest that those who believe that they are light workers and want to find out or determine a life purpose, well, probably the easiest way for you to understand or determine that would simply be to reflect on your life and reflect on your actions and deeds where you led with your heart, where you led with love. That is the purpose. Some of you might be startled to realize that you have fulfilled your life purpose. But perhaps you have just chosen to hang around to help others find their life purpose, or to help others find their light. And perhaps you might do that by simply being generous of heart. It is the intention that creates the reality. And so, if your intention is of the light, you are therein christened a light worker. It is simply that simple. It is an awareness that from the light you come, you will work with the light, not within, but with the light to co-create. And it is to the light you will return. That understanding, that awareness, living your life, recognizing the truth of that premise is considered being in the light. And as the channel is fond of saying, from the Conversations with God series of books, enlightenment means in the light, in the moment. It is a beautiful and accurate description. You do not need to sit on a mountaintop in a lotus position in a state of prayer to be a light worker. And we do not cast aspersions on those who choose to do that. But that is not what distinguishes a light worker. The grandmother who takes time to bake cookies with her grandchildren, or read them a story, or take them to the park, or do crafts. She is a light worker. The grandfather or husband or brother who always leads with compassion and kindness is generous of spirit and willingly gives, that is a light worker. Multitudes of you who are involved in a regular religious church, but understand that that is not all, that there is more beyond. Perhaps you sing in the choir. Perhaps you work with charities. Those are all light workers. I suppose if you want to distinguish in any significant way, it would be that there are some light workers who simply are more aware of the fact that they're light workers. And there are some who are really amazing light workers who don't recognize their actions as such. The earth, as you know it, is going through tremendous transformations right now. And it is sort of a make or break situation. And the people of the planet are going to be called upon to come together and work together to not only save civilization, but to save the planet. And that is part of the reason that there are so many light workers just like you on the planet right now. Because the transition from 3D to 4D, that understanding, that awareness that there is more than, that it is greater than, and by extension, you then are greater than. Because you have the power of the divine light with you, in you, shining out of your smile and your fingertips, your voice. In the fifth dimension, where the awareness and the thinning of the veil that was accomplished in the fourth dimension now becomes realized. Always, always remember, it is the intention that sets the reality. It is the intention that creates karma, for good or not. There are many light workers now who have spent this life clearing up and reducing the amount of karma that they brought into the experience, simply because on a cellular level there is an awareness that their soul will not be returning to the earth plane and is going to move on to higher dimensions. And in fact, there are some of you who have an awareness that you have actually come from higher dimensions and have taken on earth form for one or several lives in an attempt to be here now to do the energy work that is going to be most helpful for those on the planet. And there are those who are literally of this planet and will stay with the planet, and that is not a bad thing. That means simply that they are wanting to continue the 3D experience and slowly at their own pace work towards the fourth. And that is perfectly okay, because it is sort of an evolution of groups, if you will. It is soul families and groupings of souls that, generally speaking, move and evolve together. Some of you are starting to discover that you have soul sisters and brothers that you meet in the most random ways, often through this internet of yours. And you come to realize that there are people all over the planet who are on their spiritual mission, who are on their spiritual quest, who are walking a very similar path as you, who you have experienced previous lifetimes with. Do not think that the people in your immediate circle are the extent of your soul group. Your soul group will consist of people all around the world and those who have remained behind the veil to assist you from there. Your soul groups are large and loving and very focused on manifesting the highest good for all. So you, one and all, are light workers. It is just a matter of the degree in which you have the awareness and the clarity to determine your purpose and your reason. But we ask you to simply reflect on your life. Find the areas where your intention is from the heart, and that is your life purpose. The brighter your light shines, the more you are able to work towards reducing the dark and the darkness. But it is not your job to eradicate it all by yourselves. It is also, and more importantly, the job of the souls who are in the darkness to find that divinity within and start to search for the light. And once the search has begun, that is when light workers may step in to assist. We are very, very much looking forward to this series of channelings because it is time now to bring deeper understanding and awareness to light workers as you begin these very first baby steps towards helping the planet evolve to a higher consciousness. And all of you have a role to play. And know that you are surrounded by guardians and angels and spirit beings, each one of you, because they are there in energy form to assist you as you work within your light. Do not ever minimize the importance of your contribution to this planet. Never minimize your contribution that sometimes feels great and sometimes feels so small as to you not noticing it. Each one has value. Each one has purpose. Each one is living the very life and experience they are manifesting by the energy work they either are or are not doing. It is the intention of the heart, mind, and soul to which you must look. And you will find your answer. As clear as a bell and as gentle as angels' wings. Thank you. We look forward to continuing these channeled messages as you move forward into the days and weeks and months to come. At this time, we remain Masudius. Okay, as usual, all channeled messages are copywritten under my personal name. You might want to sit with that message for a little bit. You might want to think about it. You might want to review it. But I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stand in your power and stand in your light. Bye-bye.